Good morning, students. Here I am, Mrs. Tanya, and we are going on with the another story of class 9, that is story number 5, Face in the Dark by Ruskin Bond. You might have heard about Ruskin Bond, he's a great Indian author. And here, A Face in the Dark is a kind of, you can say, a kind of supernatural, a kind of horror story where Ruskin Bond relates or end the story with a very confusing end, and it give the result on us that what we decide what the story or what the set it should be, whether it is a real ghost, or it is just a prank. So Ruskin Bond, if you see his picture here, I am showing. He is an Indian author of British descent, okay, and he lives with his adopted family in Missouri. The Indian Council for Child Education has recognized his role in the growth of children's literature in India. Okay, and he is a prolific writer whose works are popular with adult as well as children. He's a great writer, and his stories, his things are liked by all age of people. Okay, and Ruskin Bond was very much fascinated with the paranormal finds expression. Okay, he was very much fascinated by the paranormal find, that what is something to be related to horror, supernatural, something like that kind of expression. Okay, and here in this story, that is Face in the Dark, he's just telling about a school teacher whose name was Mr. Oliver. When he was returning his way back to school late one night, and he meets a very strange young boy, and the encounter with that young boy and himself brings terror to him. He, as a person, used to say that he is very bold, very smart, very confident, but this terror really made him out of his life, and he wanted to escape. He just again ran to escape himself. Again he met with a strange person, and he was really, the story gives a very a kind of fear, surprise, mystery, suspense, all these kind of collective fascinations are here in this story. So let us start the story, A Face in the Dark by Ruskin Bond. You can see the line, you can keep your books open, line by line you can go. The story starts by the character of Mr. Oliver. Mr. Oliver, an Anglo Indian teacher, was returning to his school late one night on the outskirts of the hill station of Shimla. Now, what happened? Mr. Oliver, he was an Anglo Indian teacher. He was returning to his school late one night because he used to stay there itself. So, late night he was returning, and there was like very like isolated area, hill station of Shimla, and he was returning. From before Kipling's time, the school had been run on English public school lines. Now, the school where he was working, it was an English public school. That line it was there, and the boys, most of them from wealthy Indian family, means it was a rich, well-to-do school, and the children who were studying there, they were very well, like belonging to a very rich family. Wore blazer, caps, and tie. What was their dress? They had a good blazer, they had a cap, they had ties. Life magazine, in a feature on India, had once called it the Eton of the East. So the school name came in a magazine, and they called the school as the Eton of the. Eton means a famous, something famous. It is a name of a town in British. Something famous of the East. So it was a very famous school. Mr. Oliver had been teaching in the school for several years. From this line, you can understand that Mr. Oliver was a very experienced teacher. He was working in that school for many years. The Shimla Bazaar, with its cinemas and restaurants, was about 3 miles from the school. Now, the bazaar, the cinemas, all were 3 miles away from the school. And Mr. Oliver, a bachelor, usually strolled into the town in the evening, returning after dark, when he would take a shortcut through the pine forest. Mr. Oliver, he was a teacher, he was a bachelor, not yet married, and he used to stroll. Stroll means he used to walk slowly in a very pleasant way. He used to move around in the town evening time, buying everything, watching, enjoying, when he would take a shortcut through the pine forest. And to reach the school, he used to take a shortcut. And that day he took a shortcut. When there was a strong wind, the pine trees made sad, airy sounds. Now, what happened that day? The wind was blowing very fast, and the pine trees made sad, airy means very strange, mysterious sound. Just imagine you are passing through a very bushy kind of jungle, then definitely you will feel something. You are all alone, you will feel a kind of sounds, a kind of very great kind of wind blowing, and all these kind we hear sound of animals and all. So he also heard a very strange mysterious sound from the pine tree that kept most people to the main road. And that is the reason most of the people, they take the main road, they don't take the shortcut, because shortcut is little dangerous, little like means a kind of mysterious. But Mr. Oliver was not a nervous or imaginative man. Now this line the author says that Mr. Oliver was a very strong man. He never used to like get like frightened. He was not imaginative that something is going on or this sound is like that. He was not an imaginative man. He was a very well built, very strong determination, brave man. He carried a torch and its gleam, the batteries were running down. He had a torch, with that he could see, but now the batteries were running down, the light was fading. Move fitfully down the narrow forest path, and not regularly, he just moved down the forest path. When its flickering light fell in the figure of a boy who was sitting alone on a rock, Mr. Oliver stopped. Boys were not supposed to be out after dark. Now, what happened as he was getting closer to the school, he saw a figure of a boy. He was sitting alone on the rock. So, Mr. Oliver thought he may be the boy of his school, because they are also the children. That is a kind of school where the student teachers all stays. Okay, a hostel kind of thing is there, boarding. So Mr. Oliver stopped and said, boys were not supposed to be out after dark. After dark you are not supposed to be out. What are you doing out here, boy? Now he asked that boy, what are you doing? Asked Mr. Oliver sharply, moving closer so that he could recognize the miscreant. Now what happened? He went closer to that boy. He wanted to find out who is he. Now you can understand Mr. Oliver was not at all frightened. He wanted to, as a teacher, he was worried about his children, and seeing one boy out, he thought that it is from his school. So he went to the boy close and wanted to find out who is this boy, who is this mischievous one. But even as he approached the boy, Mr. Oliver sensed that something was wrong. As he got close to that boy, he found that there's nothing like something fishy, something wrong is there. The boy appeared to be crying, and the sound he heard that the boy is crying. His head hung down, and his head was hanging down, like he was putting his head down and crying. He held his face in his hands, and his body shook convulsively. Now what happened? It was seeming that his like hand is there, and over that his head, and his body was like shaking. It was uncontrollable to control that boy. It was a strange, soundless weeping, and Mr. Oliver felt distinctly uneasy. And the condition of the boy was really strange. The cry was also soundless. The posture of the boy was also like very strange. So suddenly Mr. Oliver felt something strong and definite, that something is there, and he was finding it uneasy. Now then what he said? He said, well, what's the matter? He said, what's the matter? He asked, his anger giving way to concern. Now, not in an anger way, he was giving a concern and saying, what are you crying for? He said, what are you crying for? The boy would not answer or look up. Whatever the question the Mr. Oliver was asking, the boy was not ready to answer, not even looking up at Mr. Oliver. His body continued to be tracked with silent sobbing. The body of that boy was seeming to be like in pain, and he was sobbing. Come on, boy, you shouldn't be out here at this hour. Again, Mr. Oliver said, my dear boy, this time, late time, you should not be here. Tell me the trouble, look up. He said, tell me the problem, look up to me. The boy looked up. When Mr. Oliver 2-3 times said, "Look up," the boy looked up. He took his hands from his face, looked up at his teacher. Now he was hiding his face with his hand. He just removed his hand and looked at his teacher. The light from Mr. Oliver's torch fell on the boy's face, if you could call it a face. Now Mr. Oliver was holding the torch and the light fell on the face, but actually the face was not there. It was just a hollow. Means the cap, as I showed you the picture. As I showed you this picture, like this, the face of the boy. Means there is actually no face. There was just a hollow thing, something very dark. And when Mr. Oliver put out his torch, he just found that there is actually no face. Now what he said? He said it had no eyes, ears, nose or mouth. It was just a round, smooth head. There was neither eyes, nor ears, nor nose, nor mouth. It was a round, smooth head with a school cap on top of it. School cap was there, but no face. And that's where the story should end. Actually, the author is saying here the story should come to an end. But for Mr. Oliver, it did not end here. Actually, anyone seeing like this, the person will get collapse. The story should come to an end. But Mr. Oliver did not end the story. The torch fell from his trembling hand. He was now a bit frightened. He turned and scrambled down the path. He moved towards the path, running blindly through the trees and calling for help. Now he was calling out for help. He was still running towards the school building when he saw a lantern swinging in the middle of the path. Now what happened? His torch also gave up. He was running towards the school. Suddenly he saw a lantern swinging in the middle of the path. That someone is holding the lantern in the middle of the path. Mr. Oliver stumbled up to the watchman, gasping for breath. Now he saw a watchman there holding a lantern, and Mr. Oliver couldn't breathe properly. What is it, Sahib? Asked the watchman. Watchman's sound came. He asked, "What happened, Sahib? Has there been an accident? Why are you running?" He said, "Did you met an accident? What happened? Why are you running?" "I saw something horrible, a boy weeping in the forest, and he had no face." He said, "I saw something very horrible." He said, "What?" "I saw a boy weeping, a boy crying in the forest, and when I looked at that boy, he had no face. He was without a face." "No face, Sahib?" Now again the watchman says, "Sahib, he had no face. No eyes, nose, mouth, nothing." He said, "Nothing he was having? No eyes, no nose, no mouth?" "Do you mean it was like this, Sahib?" Now what happened? The watchman turned towards this Mr. Oliver and he showed his face and said, "Was he like this?" Means he showed the face. "Was it like this?" asked the watchman, and raised the lamp to his own face. And what lantern he was carrying, he took it towards his face and said, "Was it like this?" The watchman had no eyes, no ears, no features at all. Now what happened? The watchman himself had no eyes, no ears, no feature. It means he was also a hollow man. Not even an eyebrow. And that's when the wind blew the lamp out. And suddenly what happened? Now Mr. Oliver really got frightened. Because the boy was also hollow faced. Nothing on the face. He was also a hollow faced man. And the lamp also blew off. And now Mr. Oliver felt that mysterious thing. And this is the thing what the story ends with, a sense of ambiguity. Mysterious of human residence and the possibilities of life outside our natural one. Means the story ends up like this, that sometime the mysterious things happen in the life and we are not knowing what that is, whether it is real, whether it is a prank, whether it is something very unusual. So Ruskin Bond's story always ends or always give ending to the students or to the readers to identify what happened at the end. Whether it was a prank played by his students because he was a very strict teacher, or whether it was really that sight was horror, it was real a ghost with a hollow face,
what it is. Now it is up to you to identify, to end up that what it was really. And we did not know what happened to Mr. The lamp blew off, and what maybe happened to Mr. Oliver after this. So the story end up with a suspense, with a mystery, with a surprise, and this all thing fascinating thing is being explained in this story. I hope you understood. Thank you.